So now we are just ready to trace the image, and the things I have here is a printout of the vectorized and the resized image, and that's a regular A4 sheet. It's a regular printing that we will be doing, and then we have a wafer paper. So the edible paper is what we are actually going to place it on the cake and then leave it on the cake, and you don't have to worry about this being on top of the cake. Obviously a little bit of brittleness will be there. Once you cut through, then this is just a piece, a layer on the top, and that can be ignored as you have to think about eating the cake. But we are just going to think of the fact that how we are going to transfer this on the cake using the pointillism. So the edible paper that we will be using here is a simple wafer paper. I have that one, and then I have a transparent board. It can be a glass or it can be an acrylic board like I have here. I mean, the whole is, because it's a cake board, like used for making the sharp edges, and this is for a different purpose, and this hole doesn't have to be there for doing the tracing. Okay, and then I have edible pen, food coloring pen, basically an edible pen. You need that to trace the image on wafer paper. If you are doing it on A4 sheet, you can just use a pencil or a regular black gel pen is fine, but on wafer paper we have to be, I'm sure you are using the edible pen, right? And then I have some clips here to secure the papers on the acrylic board, and then what I have here is the a basket. So I'm just going to place some light source into the basket, and then I'm just going to place this entire setup on top of that. So the light source that I'm going to use here is a LED. Okay, I mean, this is going to be like really powerful. You don't need to have this. If you have a light source that is as bright as this, then that is well and good. If you do not have, you could just use any light source. The basic that you can think of, if you don't have anything at all, is your mobile phone's torch, and then put the torch light from your mobile phone facing upward, but obviously it's not going to be as bright. Or you could just think of some table lamp where the neck of the lamp is like quite long, and then you could just insert it through the holes here through a basket like that. So just make sure you're just finding the light source, and when I'm going to switch it on, it's just going to be too bright. So let me just place it here. Okay, and now let me just do the setup and show. So now there's this acrylic board, and then I'm just going to have this image here. I'm just going to have the smoother surface of the wafer paper on the top. You would anyway be cutting out the side, so it doesn't matter if it is like a little crossed, but just make sure it's aligned properly. So I'm just going to clip it. Okay, it's not going to move beyond that point, and now we are ready. So I could just keep it like that. Okay, and when we are ready to do this step, now the image will start to pop out after we have switched on the light source. So okay, and still there is going to be more detailing that is going to pop out when the lights around are switched off and only this light is on, and then we are just going to start seeing the image pretty much clearer. And then I'm just going to start using the pen to go on and then do the tracing. I'll get back once I have the lights switched off. So I have everything set up here. So the light is on and all the lights around is switched off, and then the image at the bottom is there and the top is the wafer paper, but you can see through the image pretty clearly. And the pixelation that you see here is because of the screenshot that we've taken, and then we just fit it into the size that we want, right? So but then we are just going to watch closely for the outline. So I'm just going to use the edible marker. I'm just going to start off, say, with the outline here of the face. Just have to be like pretty much sure, because this is where exactly the shape, the features and all of it of the portrait that we will be doing will reflect. Okay. This one, no? So I'm just going to go into every small detail, and as the shade is changing, that the green is there, and then I see the border for the brown, and I'm just going to make an outline here for the brown as well. Okay, so this whole thing is all brown. Okay, and then I'm just going to go in and look for the dark brown. I see starting here, and that is all about there as well. I'm just following every shade, and then I'm going to look for each of the sections. Any different shade that I see, I'm just going to mark it up. So once I need to just look through if I have covered all the sections. Now the goal before I just kind of complete for me to look through is every section, like every closed area that comes under the outline, I just need to make sure they are all of the same color, and if I find there is a different color within a particular section that I have just drawn, I need to go and make the outline right now. Say for example, now this is the eye, this is the entire section right from here until all the way till there is like I don't have any other line drawn in between, but you can see at this place the color changes, right? So this is all in one darker shade. Here I see the color changes, so I need to know where exactly that color is changing, so I need to make that outline there. So once you have made the outline, go in a little more deeply to check if any section, say for this entire section that I have that goes in continuation all the way till here is just the same color, but then here you see now the partition is there but I haven't done the outline. So go ahead and then do the outline. Now in this chin I see, okay, so here is a darker shade. Now I just go there. So any open area like a section, whatever I have just drawn, one open section should be just one color, so that is the goal. So every marked outline within that we'll just have only one color, and especially near the eyes we just need to be a bit more careful. If we have just left out any shade that is there within a particular section which is a different color and we have not outlined it, we need to get that done right now. So this is the nose line for me to be pretty more clearer. These are just the backgrounds, but still let me just make sure I have just covered up all the details. But obviously you need to be careful about the face. Okay, so this pretty much looks like I have taken in all the details. Okay, so once this is done, then we could just get the lights on and then we could just remove and see how the tracing has happened, and after which we could just move on to the next lesson. So we have here the traced image and that's going to look like that. Nothing close to what we are going to actually make on the cake. So but that is how we are going to start now. I also need the outline, so I'll just fix it back exactly. We could have done that during tracing. It's nothing but we have and we know where exactly we just need to cut the paper. So I'll just do that and cut it out to the size, the 7.25, which is the size of the cake, and once I have that, I'll get back in the next lesson where I'm going to show you how to use this traced image on the cake and to actually have the colorful buttercream to make a dot painting. So see you in that lesson.